Cuba has one of the most absurd laws ever. Think about it. I've mentioned it in the 26th video on the Master Rainey channel. I previously mentioned that Cuba was to be included to be one of the 5 remaining communist countries around the globe. Cuba has prohibited normal things. The president, Miguel Diaz-Canel, has been repressing the country. Whoever is watching just feels sorry for the Cubans. I'm just focusing on what's really going on in Cuba. That's what the 34th video on the Master Rainey channel will be about. Shocking facts about Cuba. Now, America could have problems with its people traveling to Cuba, but Cuba will welcome anyone, especially Americans, despite America's skeptic on traveling to Cuba. The president of Cuba right now is a freshly new president who was sworn in office in October just this year. Miguel Diaz-Canel was the first president in approximately 60 years not in the Castro dynasty, which of course has ended just recently. Miguel Diaz-Canel is infamous for imprisoning journalists, artists, and video gamers. We've heard that there is an economic crisis going on, leading to shortages of fuel, oil, and food. The Cuban government announced on May 10th this year that they were launching a widespread food shortage. 2/3 of Cuba's food's annual prices were roughly $2 billion. Yikes! Want to hear the most bizarre prohibitions? In Cuba, people aren't allowed to surf the internet at home or on their mobile phones. The ETECSA, also known as the Empresa de Telecomunicaciones de Cuba S.A., claims that surfing the internet in a private home isn't a provided service to the people. Its policy states that only state-owned and foreign businesses can have access, as well as immigrants in the country. No cable TV in Cuba either. Telecable is the only provider there is in Cuba, but it's only for ambassadors, tourist hotels, foreign companies, and immigrants. The channels on the telecable provider include CNN, Discovery, HBO, ESPN, etc. The citizens, yes, actual citizens, the legal Cuban citizens, only have access to the state-owned TV channels. There is only one political party existing in Cuba. It's not Democratic, not Republican, not Libertarian, not Liberal, not Conservative, but the only party there is the Partido Comunista de Cuba. That's Spanish for the Communist Party of Cuba. Reflected back to the 26th video on the Master Rainey channel, talking about the remaining 5 truly communist countries, I have previously mentioned Cuba being one of them, despite officially being called the Republic of Cuba. Yeah, call it Republic, but it's communist. Yes, the official language is Spanish in Cuba, so that's why I said the political party name in Spanish. There can't be any investments in medium or large enterprises. According to Law 188, Cuban investments are by foreigners and legal Cubans, whether or not that they are partnered with one another. If a Cuban wants to engage in private economic activity, then he or she must be self-employed, but unfortunately, your career must be government approved. Importing microphones, walkie-talkies, and satellite communication devices requires government permission. According to Section 2 on Resolution 10-2006, wireless devices like these require special government permission, and a license is needed to install, exploit, and function any of those. The Supervision and Control Agency of the Ministry of Information of Communications, the SCAMIC, or of course the SCAMIC, will issue these. Requesting permission will not get you permission if you're hoping. Policies with regards to foreigners are permission required things. As a Cuban citizen, you must have permission to have a sleepover with a foreigner at your house. If you were caught by the police or a migratory officer having a sleepover with a foreigner, you could face a severe fine. If you pick up a foreigner in a private car, you could get a deep shit unless you have a taxi license. Then it's no big deal. There aren't many private cars in Cuba. Most cars in the country are state-owned. Worst of all, Cubans are forbidden to sail on tourist boats. According to Cuba Tour, Cuban citizens, regardless of their locations, may not get a package with catamarans or yachts. The only people in Cuba allowed on boats are foreign tourists. Quite shocking that the people of Cuba face those things that I've talked about. Have you thought of anything else shocking about Cuba? Let me know in the comments. Remember to subscribe and ring the bell just so you'll be notified when the 35th video on the Master Rain channel comes out. I'll release it sooner or later. Oh, one more thing. Since I speak multiple languages, I just want to say adios, hasta luego.